I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into Bears Now. Eddie Jackson was released by the Bears on Thursday after 7 seasons with the team, which means Chicago needs a new free safety. So on today's show, we're going to explore some top Eddie Jackson replacements both in the draft and in free agency. You look at the updated cap situation for Chicago, it's roughly 70-ish million. We still have to wait for the official number to come in from the NFL at what this year's cap number is going to be, but got about 70 million to play with. Now, 14, 15 million of that's going to go to the draft. You need to save some for during the season, etc. But still plenty of money for the Chicago Bears to make some moves. Now, was cutting Eddie Jackson the right decision? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I think it pretty clearly was. Clearing over $12.5 million on your books is vital for this team moving forward as they continue to build this roster. Eddie Jackson's still a good player, but his cap hit at over $18 million wasn't justifiable at this point in his career. Now, speaking of too expensive, I think these 4 safeties that are set to be free agents are going to cost too much for the Bears, and quite frankly, a few of them might be franchise tagged, so they wouldn't be options anyway. But Antoine Winfield Jr., Kyle Duggar, Kamren, Xavier, McKinney, all projected to get over $10 million per year, and in a few of these cases, maybe up to $15+ million per year. So I don't think they will be realistic options for the Bears. I don't expect the Bears to break the bank here. I would expect them to try and keep this number under $8 million per year at this position, as they still have several other major needs that are bigger than safety. But obviously, it's an important position that they need to lock down. I'm going to start with my personal favorite and the guy I would be thrilled with if they ended up with him, and that's Geno Stone from the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore with Mike McDonald, who is now the Seahawks head coach, went to a 3-safety system these past couple of years, and Geno Stone kind of became that guy to be that third safety. And this year, he really took a big jump as a player. The former 7th-round pick was fantastic. 7 interceptions, 9 breakups, 85 coverage grade per PFF. I mean, you think about what Eddie Jackson provided, especially in his prime. It was that ball-hawking center field safety, and that's what Geno Stone can be. I think he's ready to be a full-time free safety in a traditional 2-safety set. I think he's ready for that role. He's just a good enough tackler to be able to tackle as well. His ball skills are certainly his forte, but what's nice about him is even though he's had that awesome production this year is PFF, Spotrac, they both think he's in that $6.5, $7 million per year range. So you could get this guy 2 years, $13 to $15 million and feel good about that position next to Jaquan Brisker. This is my top target. I think he fits well. I think he adds what you need, a defense that already had a ton of interceptions last year. This guy has proven that he can give you some as well. You get Geno Stone in here at an affordable price, I would be absolutely thrilled with that outcome. How about Julian Blackmon, a guy that obviously Matt Eberflus would be familiar with, has just finished out his rookie contract with the Indianapolis Colts. Of course, his first 2 seasons in the NFL, 2020 and 2021, Matt Eberflus was the defensive coordinator in Indy, so there's a familiarity there. I would think there's probably a decent chance that Flus is doing a deep dive here into Blackmon as a potential possibility to bring here to Chicago. Now, Blackman's been pretty good. I thought he had his best year of his career this year. The numbers show that in coverage with 4 picks and 8 breakups. Now, there have been some injury concerns. Missed 2 games this year, 3 the year before, only played in 6 games in 21. He's never played a full season. Now, he's played 14-plus games in 3 of 4 years, so not a major concern, but could be a guy that misses a little time here and there. Pro Football Focus projects him to be in that $5.75 million per year range. So, again, 1 year, $6 million, 2 year, $11 million, something like that might be what you're looking at. And for a quality starting safety, I think that's a pretty good price tag and something that's not going to hurt your books too bad. So familiarity there. I would think he would be a guy under consideration with Matt Eberflus calling this defense, and some of the secondary coaches on this staff are in Indianapolis as well and should know Blackmon well. Okay, Jordan Fuller with the Los Angeles Rams is another guy here. All 3 of these guys are in the same boat of young players who have completed their rookie deals and likely won't be getting second contracts with their current teams, as you see this a lot, right? Guys who weren't first-round picks, good players, but you can't pay them to keep them, so you let them go. A team like the Bears could pounce here. And Fuller, is probably a little bit more complete in terms of he plays the run a little bit better than a guy like Geno Stone, but he's not as good in coverage. But he did have 8 breakups, still had 3 picks, 3 forced fumbles, does a little bit of everything. PFF again here, less than $5 million per year on the projection. Now again, they're just projections, kind of one data-driven opinion from Pro Football Focus, but again, a common theme here. I mean, all these guys, in that $5 to $7 million range. Like, it shouldn't cost you that much to bring any of these players in here, which I think is important because you might be willing to go premium money at an edge, or you may have to overpay at a position like center because that's been such a problem. So if you can get a player to replace Eddie Jackson for 5, 6, 7 million bucks, I think that's definitely money well spent. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Listen, there are plenty of events to attend, even though football season is over. Get out of the house and go check out a Bulls game. Go to an event at Soldier Field, whatever the case may be, the United Center, concerts, theater, comedy shows. Get out and about, and if you want to get the best prices available and the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed, that's what Game Time's going to offer. And what's awesome about the Game Time app is it's not stressful. It's not painful when you're purchasing your tickets. It's very straightforward. It's very easy. They're going to tell you exactly what to do, and you're going to get your tickets digitally delivered within minutes. I have used Game Time on the day of events several times. I've never had an issue getting my ticket before the event starts. Go check them out. They're giving you flash deals all the time, and the longer you wait, the closer to the event you get, the better price you're going to get. That is what Game Time promises. So link is in the comments and in the description. Promo code BearsChat for new customers gets you $20 off. Go check out Game Time today in your app store and use promo code BearsChat. Another player here, Jordan Whitehead, who has played with the Bucks. He played with the Jets, and 6 years in the NFL. So he's a vet, but he's not too old. Pretty good player, man. You look at his last 4 years, 2 of those years with the Jets, 2 of those years with the Bucks, and kind of what I look at here is he's had 10 picks in the last 4 years, by the way, and several breakups, 8+ in the last 3 seasons. He's been a key cog in 2 of the better defenses in the NFL. Say what you want about the Jets, but since Robert Saleh's been there, it's been a very good defense. We know Tampa's been running a good defense for a while with Todd Bowles, and he's been a notable piece of both of those groups. So if you want to go a guy who's been around a little bit longer, a guy like Jordan Whitehead could make some sense, and that's what fascinates me here. Will Chicago go young? Will they go rookie? We'll talk about some draft options in a minute. Will they go more of a seasoned vet? It'll be interesting to see. $6 million per year is what Pro Football Focus is projecting. So, again, right in that price range where you feel comfortable. Let's talk about a bit of a sleeper guy here. Alohi Gilman here with the Los Angeles Rams. Him and Jordan Fuller coming over or hitting free agency here. And Gilman is a sleeper name to monitor, if you ask me, because he put up some pretty impressive coverage grades this year. I mean, you look at his numbers this year per PFF, 86 overall, 89 in coverage for Gilman. And by the way, I said Rams. I meant Chargers. My mistake there. Run defense is good. Couple of picks, 10 pass breakups. This guy can really play as an under-the-radar type of player. So I'll be interested to see what he commands. This seems hard to believe, but Pro Football Focus has him at less than $3 million per year on a projected contract. So you're like, okay, I mean, this guy is a starting caliber safety. Maybe you get him for like 2 years and $6 million. That seems unlikely, but that's what they're projecting there. Again, it's just projections, but I think this is a guy in a deeper safety free agent class that, again, this is a position that sometimes, like the middle class of this position, they just have to take what's available. And I mentioned the 4 guys who are going to get big money. And then the start of this list is going to get that middle tier money. And then a guy like Gilman could get squeezed out and just have to take whatever's left. So maybe if you're the Bears, you kind of remain patient at this position. Say, oh, 1 year, $3 million, take it or leave it. Oh, okay. You get them on board in Chicago. That could certainly be a good fit both financially and on this defense. Now, who was your top free agent safety target? We just went through several. We mentioned the guys who are going to cost too much, 5 players that I'm focusing on. Who would you like to see the Bears sign? Go ahead and let me know. Maybe it's one of these guys. Some other notable names out there. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who spent last year in Detroit. he didn't play that well, if I'm being honest. Like his numbers weren't great in coverage. They never are. He's more of a strong safety. Talks a lot for being kind of an average player, so I don't know if he fits. Darnell Savage, I like him. Don't know if the fit's good. DeShon Elliott, he could be kind of in that Gilman category. Could be a cheaper player. We'll see. Tashaun Gipson Sr is pretty interesting. Former Bear, played next to Eddie Jackson for a couple of years. People thought his career was over. He's had 2 pretty good years with the 49ers. If you want to go with like a seasoned vet, he could fit the mold of that. He won't cost you much at all. Should be the vet minimum. Jeremy Chinn in Carolina, he's kind of underwhelmed as he was a high draft pick a few years ago, but could be on the cheaper end of things as well. Now, subscribe to the channel. When the Bears add a new safety, we'll be the first to have you covered. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. Stay locked in here to Chicago Bears Now, as we're going to get you caught up on the latest Bears news and rumors. All right, let's take a look at some draft options now. Tyler Newman, who we've taken in a couple of our mock drafts, I think he's squarely in that round 2 range. So the Bears currently don't have a second-round pick. Maybe they will if they trade Justin Fields or if they trade down from the 9th pick or something like that. He's been productive throughout his college career at Minnesota. 5-year player, 4-year starter, good against the run, really good in coverage, over 200 tackles, 13 picks, and 11 breakups. He's kind of emerged as potentially the top safety in this draft, so we'll see. I think there's 3 or 4 guys jockeying for that spot right now, which we'll discuss here. Jaden Hicks, this guy out of Washington State, I think is the fastest riser. Little shorter, he's about 5'10", but he can really hit, and he's really good in coverage. He graded at like an 85 in coverage this year for PFF. He's been jumping up boards in recent weeks. He was like a 4th-round guy a month ago. People think he's a round 2 guy now. I mentioned the coverage grade at 83 there. That's pretty damn good as well. So I'm fascinated to see how he looks at the NFL Combine. I'll be there in a couple of weeks, so I'll be trying to keep an eye on all these guys. Kamren Kinchin's a player I really like. He played, of course, with Tyreek Stevenson, current Bears corner, back in 2022. 3-year player out of Miami. The overlap with Stevenson for 1 season there as well. There'd be a familiarity there, and, communication is key in a secondary on a defense. And the last 2 years, 11 picks, man. Like, I like safeties that can make plays. Even if you're going to get beat every once in a while, which Kinchin's does, if you're going to take the football away, which that was kind of Eddie Jackson's forte in his good seasons, right? Like, sure, he'd get beaten, wasn't the best in run support, which Kinchin's is better at that, by the way, but he took the football away. He created turnovers, and if any of these guys can do that, that's a player I'm looking at, and I would have to think with Matt Eberflus's philosophies, he would feel the same. Now, how should the Bears address free safety? Type D for draft or F for free agency. I would probably prefer one of those middle-tier free agents just because you don't have to create another issue in the draft that you have to solve for early on. But I'm not opposed to a draft guy. Maybe do a little bit of both. Maybe take a vet 1-year deal in free agency, go like a round 3 or 4 guy in the draft. That could certainly be possible. Let me know, D for draft or F for free agency. A couple more guys, including someone we've talked about a few times in our mock draft, Javon Bullard out of Georgia. I think he was voted the DB of the week at the Senior Bowl. I know he had a strong week out in Mobile. Pretty good year for the Bulldogs as well. A couple of picks and 5 breakups. Played next to another NFL draft safety in Tyke Smith. That could be an option. I think he's going to go a little bit later. But good Senior Bowl, like I mentioned. Good coverage skills. Can tackle as well. I would prefer someone who could tackle a little better than Eddie Jackson did. No doubt about that. Caleb Bullock out of USC is an interesting one. He's been a productive player throughout his college career for Southern Cal. A couple of picks and 7 breakups last year. Did find the end zone on one of those interceptions as well. Obviously, if the Bears were to take a Caleb Williams, teammate of his, so could have some comfortability in that regard. Also has 9 interceptions in 3 college seasons. So, right in that round 2, round 3 range is where Bullock is expected to go. Now, regardless of what they do, to me, you do not have an internal option to replace him. I don't think Elijah Hicks is a valid Eddie Jackson replacement. He's been fine as a third safety. He's had to play a decent amount this past year because Jackson missed 5 games. I think Brisker may have missed a game, but I think we all saw that he got exposed at times. So good player to have on the roster, good on special teams, but starting free safety, I don't think so. I think you got to upgrade there. All right, hit that subscribe button as we continue our coverage here on a daily basis on Chicago Bears. Now, the road to 100,000 subscribers is here. Spread the word. Let's get there as soon as possible. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down.